episode of my morning question mark show. It's like 5 a.m. So I guess it is morning here in Texas and 6 a.m. in the East Coast and other different times, other different places as it is. And I appreciate anybody watching this live or on the playback. I'm keeping these cell phone streams up. May even do a stream in a few hours, my NFL stream. Actually, I have a little anxiety. To the side of me, I have a fucking green screen set up, and I'm about to shoot my first little mini music video to a freestyle on Kyle Bethel's City of Demons. So hopefully, I have that out later today as well. So I got a little work to do. Hey, Essential Dildo, appreciate you being here. Pause. Obviously, what's your name? Appreciate you being here. This is the morning question mark show. These live streams, these phone streams that I've been doing have been pretty popular. As far as getting the, that's why I put roll to 1,000. I think if we keep doing this consistently, we'll get to 1,000 by the end of the year. Got music. I just talked about music stuff. I'm going to be shooting a fucking show. You can see Junkie, but there's the junk on my table. There is this green screen set up, and yeah, that table was hit up because I had to unbox everything. Is the audio a bit shit? Because it's all on my phone. Let me get closer. I'm trying to think. Is there? I'll just get closer. I don't know what else to do. But yeah, I got music stuff to do. I'm trying to look at there any other settings. No, just a chat filter. But yeah, got music stuff to do. Got to shoot a video. It's just the phone again. Woke up and you're streaming in the morning. Yeah, streaming. I got the shit set up to do a green screen video, and I'm a little nervous about doing it. You can't tell this shirt's green, so I'm not gonna wear this. So I figured I'd stream to loosen myself up a little bit. Pause. then plus, I like doing these phone streams. More people see me doing these phone streams than anything else. So you got to give the algo what it wants. So these phone streams, and people also watch these streams. They're similar to InstaScam Live. That's what YouTube is trying to do with these streams, and they're pushing it similarly. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I also got to finish this EP. I got to redo the vocals to Old School Love, and I've been nervous about that. I've been in my head about finishing thing. Finishing the project is it's his own skill. See, here's Zoe Love. Appreciate you being here, Zoe, and thank you for being here. Just talking about putting out some music, and I'm in my own head about finishing it up, just so I can get it done for release. Against my better judgment, I'm gonna put these first couple projects out on Spotify. Oof. I may be getting stuff off of Spotify at one point. Unfortunately, from where I am as an artist, I have no fucking choice to at least have something up there. I don't know if every project's going on Spotify forever. Sorry about that, but that's just the way it goes. Um, the music industry is such a demonic place. I talk about all the different industries, but it's like, okay, fuck me, I'm just some random asshole. What about the super talented artists? How are we going to get the next versions of Sade or Michael Jackson or whoever else you like? You like rock, Van Halen, whatever it is. How do you get them to the masses? We have such a corrupt industry that doesn't want to pay anybody. And we have a system where, the only ones outside, obviously, the execs that this works out, it does work out for the fans because it's such a cheap price per month. I will give you that. To get so much music, you get access to so much music. But long term, they're trying to replace it with AI music anyway. Um, there's different interpretations on whether or not they can use your music for AI. Some people are reading it that they can. Some people are reading it that they can't. I'm not a legal expert. I don't know if what's her name has a video on it yet. Top music attorney. She's done a lot of videos on these different uh, terrible distributors, including DistroKid and CD Baby. Neither one I'm using. The plan is to use United Masters, which seems like the lesser of all the evils. But it's just such a scam. Is you a wrestler? Yeah, that's the one thing. It will be on all platforms. No, I am not. I thought about it, but I can't do it. That's another gimmick. The content ID claims. As far as I did not see the Deezer CEO interview Fantano did. There's a lot of false content ID claims. A lot of people. There are people who get content ID claim for their own music. That's his own can of worms, and that's not good either. Yeah, you got a lot of uh, true copyright infringement where and this is which I don't think it prevents it totally. One of the reasons for putting the stuff on Spotify first before somebody else, because what could happen if you don't put your stuff on Spotify is somebody else may put it on Spotify under something else and then get copyright priority, and now you're getting your own music copyright claim, even if you actually did copyright it. You might have really went through the was it USPTO office, got it copywritten, but as far as digitally, because what's call's not looking it up. YouTube doesn't look that up. They just look up who has the first digital trademark for who's ever put it on internet first, basically. And so your material may be copyright claimed by somebody else. You got to go through a whole hassle to just get through it. And good luck getting in touch with somebody at one of these fucking platforms. But I'm not sure who is the Deezer CEO. It's the same as before that. I never heard of Deezer. And he said 30% of new music on Deezer is AI. I mean, we also have this group of people who consider themselves musicians for writing AI prompts. That's a new wave. In fact, sometimes I tell people I do music. Oh, you use AI? No, I actually make music. You know, there's people who think if they write a cool enough AI prompt, they're as good as any artist. And when you consider how little the average artist actually is involved with their own music anyway, they almost have a point. These is a French streaming platform. I see. Yeah, and that's just one section of it, including sometimes I know it happened with one thing that happened with what's the Tommy Main and Dempsey is when they tried to promote their music, they kept whoever's show they went on got copyright claim just because they went through. I think they went through Bandcamp. Was it Bandcamp or no? They went through SoundCloud. I'm sorry, I get those two mixed up always. So they went through SoundCloud to distribute their project, and so now they can't promote their project because they have such a strong copyright claim. And like that's not good either. So it's all sorts of stuff. Got 10 million subscribers. That's not bad. That's not bad. Good morning. Good morning, Bone. Boom, 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 boom. Long time no see. I guess I could have went Thuggish Ruggish Bone too, but I was going to Crossroads. It's the Thuggish Ruggish Bone. It's the Thuggish Ruggish Bone. Hey, 310 Man Ruth. Grand Rising. Appreciate you being here, saying hi. Appreciate you being here. Happy morning to anybody who shows up. But yeah, man, it's like it's a very suppressive industry for artists. In one regard, anybody could go viral at any moment, right? Anyone could, and then if you put some money behind it, you increase your chances of getting seen. Cool, but I don't know. I say that there are still good artists getting heard and getting their music across. It's just I saw a lot of scary videos. People talking about, oh, how do you get? And granted, I'm not trying to get number one hit, but like, oh yeah, you need a quarter million to $1 million to promote a song for the radio. Just all, and that's just promotion. That's not putting something into the music or into the music video or into the art. That is paying people to play your music. It is so openly corrupt, and even to some extent, even as an independent, you have to pay for ads because these platforms have become pay for play. All of them. That's YouTube, that's Twitter, that's Instagram, and that's why you're seeing. But a lot of people just expect it and just pay. You don't have to pay a ton, but you got to put some money behind something to get it heard nowadays. That's just and that's rather, and that's I'm talking about music specifically, but that could be for your podcast, that could be for your whatever. They pay for play. That's not to say that any organic growth cannot happen on these platforms. That is not true, but there's definitely a push for them to want ad money before they really start pushing people. Unfortunately, since you deal with deleted people, I'm sure it's worth it because of course somebody's talking some wild shit. I don't know if you're gonna get him, but we're gonna go ahead and at least time people out. I don't want to totally throw people out. Not quite. All AI music. Well, that's a huge plus that they it's classified as AI music and they develop a tool to catch it. That's a huge plus. You said hey this taste that's guy. Yeah, that's the gift of the curse when we stream on the. Is it snowing? It is not snowing in Texas where I'm at. I'm not sure about other places. But hey, Mary Jane. Mary Jane. But going back to Deezer, it's good that they are at least aware of the AI issue and classify the music as such. And listen, I don't necessarily hate AI music per se. Um, there's some interesting things done with it. It's just not my preferred cup of tea. But I'm old. In 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, people are going to be used to it and happy with it. And look at we've created a consumer base that just views music as very consumable and um, they don't really think much of music. They toss up I'm a synthwave guy, right? I don't know how many synthwave royalty free or random synthwave playlists I've listened to in my lifetime, or chill wave or chill hop, and you playlists you listen to your lifetime. Everybody knows Lo-Fi Girl. How many different channels took some visual and had a playlist, an infinite playlist of different music of a genre. You don't even know half the artists on the genre. I used to listen to that shit all the time. Different playlist channels on YouTube, whether it was synthwave or lo-fi. That's why I'm saying it. I used to do the shit all the damn time as a fan, and I don't know half the damn artists I was listening to. That's the reality of it. And all those artists are far ahead of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and that's just one subgenre of the many millions of genres that exist in music. It's just so hard to be meaningful to a bunch of people who barely care. And I'm just as guilty as the barely care thing as anyone. And so that's why the major label system still has so much weight because the major label system makes people care about whether or not your music matters. Same reason that the major studio system still matters in movies. You can be the best independent film director on earth, but if you put Warner Brothers or Disney or one of their subsidiaries, New Line Cinema, whatever the fuck it is, you put that in front of it, and you put a little bit more budget as far as marketing, because again, you got to pay to play. All of a sudden, you can get more attention. You put A20, or what was it? Was it is it A20, A10, whatever the fuck that is? Whatever the fuck it is, you put one of those names behind it, and all of a sudden, you get further along as a film director. We still have a fan base that needs that validation. Looks like I'm going skiing. No, it's just a part. It's just the mask. Hey, shout out to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Shout out to the Midwest. They also implement a different form of payment, so the money of your followers goes to you. As long as it's classified as AI, yeah, that's a huge part of it. Just let people know it's AI. I don't like these weird AI bands or AI artists that they're putting up, and they're doing so much inorganic stuff. Paul. Pun not intended. Um, yeah, shout out to Fort Wayne, Major Johnson. Fort Wayne, just the originator of my Detroit Pistons. I'm a Detroit fan from Detroit, I'm in Texas. That's the lower. But Pistons started off in Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne's on their Pistons. So I mean, it's not just the AI; it's the attitudes of fans, and I don't know how you change it. Maybe you don't. Maybe it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna have a lot of. It's hard to get those. They say you can get 1,000 fans that really care, you're in business, but it's going to be more difficult to get that because there's just so much noise. So it is what it is. I'm not complaining. I'm happy that and granted, it's not going to be the best production wise. It was the best I can come up with where I'm at. I'm just happy to get music out there. And that's something I should have been doing instead of overthinking it. Right? You got to put music out there. You gotta still take your shot. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for quite a while. I'm putting out first two projects and maybe another one after, and just constantly putting out music as I get it done. They also pay way less on Deezer, so at least someone is doing something right. That's positive, especially for the European artists using. I don't know what the the rights for me to get stuff out there. Also, I heard is it Tidal who's going to do a direct upload situation with their music now instead of distributors? Because I think the problem with the whole point of the distributors was, at least from the platform standpoint, was you'll do the gatekeeping, and they really haven't. You'll do the gatekeeping for, so they might as well just go direct upload. Um, and I think Tidal is doing direct upload. I can put stuff on Deezer. Well, I probably will. I think it's Tidal. It's not Spotify, but it's one of the next ones. I think Tidal is doing direct upload. So there's some positive with that because these distributors are just as wacky and as demonic as anything else. So going direct stuff. So maybe we'll put that up there. Um, I've been just sitting on the video. If you're a member, you already got access to the Bar Nostalgia that doesn't exist video. Been waiting to put that out. I want to get this Kyle Bethel freestyle slash remix video done and kind of co-promote them, and then I guess go into the quote unquote rollout of this EP and then rollout of the next EP. We just me posting music and trying, but just getting these videos done. And this is my first test of messing with green screen, so we'll see how bad it is. And I'm gonna be using a camcorder along with my phone, so we'll see how good or bad this comes out. And then that'll let us know how we do our own videos. So a lot of stuff today is why I took it off of work. That's why I'm up now streaming to you guys. May stream a little bit after some of this gets done. Cause I do miss streaming. I wish I could stream a little bit more. It is still one of my favorite things to do. Uh, Subject matter is changing. I'm just putting a foot in the stand. That's why it says no politics. It's getting so wacky. It's getting so wacky right now. I don't know what to say about the U.S. politics. So I was like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to force myself to have a take about any of this craziness now. It's a lot stress, a lot less stress. And if you do, I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but I just won't be responding and continue it on. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for talking. We can talk about it, whatever. Uh, how's everything in Ascension Land in Croatia? How are you doing? And what are you listening to? Because you always got your ears to the musical streets. What is Ascension listening to right now? Um, and then what else do I want to talk about? I've talked about the David story. I don't really want to talk about that either. That's fucked up. Hopefully, they can finally arrest that kid. What the fuck is going on there? Um, and then what else? Not Disney. Warner Brothers selling to maybe Netflix, maybe Paramount. Talked about that. I've heard him is not that good, which I was kind of excited to see. I heard it was a little bit, and apparently it's not a Jordan Peele film for real. For real, it's actually a different director directed him, and Jordan Peele just produced it. Sorry, I'm getting louder because I just realized. Wait, people may not be able to hear you, but apparently it's not even a Jordan Peele film, and a lot of people do not like him. So I'm not sure about it. I was thinking about asking Bro Jelani if he wanted to see it, but the reviews don't look too positive. So that sucks for that. Um, are there any other movies coming out this year? I know, Weapons. What's his name? Fizz Chozo kept talking about Weapons, and that ended up being a big hit. Been on techno stuff lately, a lot of ambient shit. Got to relax. Facts. Shout out to ambient. Shout out to ambient techno. That's dope. That's dope. But yeah, Fizz kept talking about Weapons, and Weapons ended up being a big hit. Still have not seen Weapons. Probably just gonna sell the seven C's, so to speak, to check that out. What's your thoughts on the Davis situation? Yeah, I did kind of bring it up. I had never heard of this kid. Matt like weapons too. Yeah, I've heard nothing but positive stuff about weapons. I want to check that out. This David kid, I had never heard of. Ironically enough, now that I've heard his music, had this not been surrounded by the situation, I might have liked his music. Doesn't sound half bad, but this kid, it very much seems like he was dating a 12 to 14-year old while he was 18 and older, got her pregnant at 14, killed her, and her body was found. They keep calling her 15 because her body was found after she would have turned 15, but it looks like she was dead before then. But it looks like he was dating this underage girl, got her pregnant and killed her, and was very obsessed with her to the point where he had a second woman who was older who looked similar with the same name. It's just a very creepy story. So how this guy is not in jail, I couldn't tell you. But what a wild situation! It was making songs about her. Just really creepy stuff. I don't know what to do with AI. Stan Lee talking to people at Comic Cons and charging $20 for a picture. Wow, that's crazy, crazy. And it looked like they was abusing him his last few years, or at least one of the companies that was taking him to these Comic Cons. Looks like they were pretty disrespectful. At least I didn't see the documentary. I saw clips from the documentary that was supposedly exposing how ignorant whatever promotional group he was dealing with was. So they're never. It looks like they're never letting Stanley rest in peace. You know, they're gonna milk him. They already milked his ideas. They already. I mean, you know, he never got. There's no way he got the royalties he probably deserved from all those characters. Just because we just know how the industry is. But he still was a team player, and they abused him. He's almost the. This is why you don't work hard for a corporation. You know, ground zero situation, Stanley, because they abuse you to the day you die and even after the fact. That's really disgusting. Really disgusting. A lot of people just left. That's crazy. A lot of David fans apparently. I don't know. Saw this situation on your timeline, never clicked on it. You're not missing much, man. It just looks like this kid. Uh, apparently, everyone in his Discord. That's another revelation that Retro Richard told me about. Apparently, his whole Discord had hundreds, if not 1,000 plus people all knew about this situation. Nobody said anything. Um, Kids were getting paid off that went to her school who knew about the situation. And nobody said anything until she ended up dead. And it's like, wow. You know, if anyone speaks up, maybe you save a fucking life. But kids were either paid off in money or paid off in access to somebody that apparently, you know, a lot of people like this kid. I was not familiar with his music because there's no more mainstream, everything's scattered. But it's a very crazy story. So I hope he sees justice. As far as I know, he's still not in jail. Hopefully that's changed. And that change is he murked her, yes. He killed this girl. He uploaded one of his biggest songs on her birthday, when her 12th or 13th birthday. This just, well, let me do the math. She's 15, it was 2022, so 3 years. So on her 12th birthday, he uploaded one of his biggest music videos. And then people are breaking down the lyrics to meaning, even though the songs, some of the songs released before was talking about killing people and killing girls and getting away with murder. And yeah, he killed this girl. He killed this girl. You know what, Tree Rock? I'm with you on Tron 3. I just found out recently Tron is not in it. He was barely in the second one. And now he's not in this one. That's horrible. And I'm like, golly. I was semi interested. I saw Nine Inch Nails was doing the soundtrack. I was semi interested. Resident had done soundtracks before. And that first, not the first, the Tron Legacy soundtrack was pretty good. And Tron Legacy, I think, is starting to get, it was a pretty underrated movie, but I thought it was a solid film. But no, I'm not. I'm not checking out Tron Ares. Yeah, I'm not watching none of that corporal slop. I'm done. It's bad enough to watch the NFL. I'm done with corporal slop outside of that. But yeah, it looks like he murked this girl. It's pretty, you know, no innocent until proven guilty, but there's enough evidence to, Really disturbing story. Like I said, it looks like, and then the teacher, her old teacher is telling his, what he knew about it, or what he found out about it after the fact, and he's trying to tell kids to stop meeting people off social media and stop following kids. We really, man, it's a lot of predators out there, man. I couldn't tell you if there's more predators or if the predators have more access to your kids, but there's a lot of predators out there, man. And there's not enough wood chippers, and it seems like the legal system doesn't even give a shit. So with that being the way it is, especially if they're high profile, man, you got to protect your kids from these demons. You got to protect your kids from these demons. So all you do is hope that guy goes. If the evidence is true, if there's some other evidence that's, I mean, there's videos of him with this girl, and then she ends up in this guy's trunk. It's like, man, I just don't see. I don't see a way that he could possibly be innocent with all the evidence there is. I just don't see how that could happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, as far as the corporal slot, going back to that Tron, I'm not that interested in that either. And I had an interest until I saw that, and I was like, oh man, that was. And not only was is Tron not in it, spoilers. Apparently, Kevin Flynn is not in it that much, and his son's not in it at all. And like, really, there's almost no connection to the middle film, and there's a little connection to the original. It's just more corpos using a property, coming up with their own story, and disrespecting the property. Stranger danger goes out the window when kids have access to the internet. Yeah, and kids don't know what they're doing. Adults don't know what they're doing on this fucking thing, man. Think kids are gonna understand? And it's just a real sick story. And it just is a lot of people. I know some of those people themselves were kids, but a lot of people just kind of let it happen. Even the mom, and I know that I don't know if she just didn't think the kid was grown because she said, "Oh yeah, she has this boyfriend David," and then you look and like this kid's like 8 years older than her, and was talking to her, really talking to her when when she was 11, and I guess he may have been 17 at that time because he's a younger individual. But it's still like, why is a 17-year-old talking to an 11-year-old, and why is the mom not paying attention? Why are these people interested in getting a bag from this guy instead of turning him in? It's just like this is just fucked up. It's 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 sick enough what he did, but there's a lot of enablers. And then when she ends up dead, everyone's like, "Oh my god!" But it's like all you fuckers enabled this situation as well. He's a demon, but you guys aren't that much better. You talk about the parents and the kids that knew, and this whole apparently this Discord, most of it knew. So it's just like this. Everybody enabled this predator to prey on this young girl, and now she ended up dead. So it's just fucked up. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if he goes to jail. You know, everybody else ain't going because that's just not the way everything works. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's a crazy story. He said, "Can scrape the popcorn ceiling for you. It looks terrible." Well, that's what the house I'm renting wanted. So hey, I'm renting this house. That's what they want. It is what it is, Uncle Joe. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here. Talking about the popcorn ceiling. It is what it is. Appreciate you being here, man. So, but yeah, it's a fucked up story. Very fucked up story. But it is what it is, man. And hopefully, there's some justice. That's all you can hope for at this point. Um, but what's some other stories? If you're into the NFL, a lot was been made about. It's always hard transition from shit like this. I don't even know what to say. I feel like it's just disrespectful to victims. All right, let me just talk about the next topic. I don't even know what to say. Um, I kind of stopped following the story, honestly. Talking about the Davis situation, if you haven't heard, that's the last thing we were talking about. I was trying to stop talking about it and talk about a new subject, honestly, because that's such a depressing subject. Hey Jay. Jay said hi. If you don't know who David is, which most people didn't before 2 or 3 weeks ago, he's some singer who it looks like by evidence had a relationship with an underage girl, and it looks like got her pregnant and then murdered her. That's what it looks like. He himself is only 19 or 20, but still a very disturbing situation. So that's what we were talking about before you wanted to scrape my popcorn ceiling. Pause, if that's a thing. The movie theater box office numbers are so low. I bet movie theaters closed before it. I kind of don't want to talk Jimmy Kimmel because that's getting close to politics, and I'm done with politics. Hey, Zombie Man, we talked about you earlier when we were talking about Spotify and issues releasing stuff to Spotify. But Tree Rock, you're on to something as far as the theater. Theaters probably have to close, man. There weren't that many big hits. There were no. Well, I guess you had the Minecraft. Was the Minecraft movie's probably the biggest movie of the year, right? You had some decent hits as far as weapons and centers, but those didn't pack. You know what I mean? That's not Marvel type hits. The Marvel and the DC kind of flopped ish. 500 million for um, 500 million for Fantastic Four, 600 million for Superman. Those are decent ish numbers. So you combine. I mean, but you're right. There just wasn't the same. There wasn't the same money being made in theaters, and so a lot of theaters are going to be in a bad thing. Take care. All right, man. I appreciate you being here, Uncle Joe. Hey, Zombie Man. You do know who he is, says Jay. You were a fan before the stuff happened. If I had heard his music, I might have been too. But now that uh, hearing the situation, I'm not gonna be listening to his music, and checking for his music. Though it wouldn't surprise me if his music is taking an uptick in interest just because of everything that happened. And people then, I want to listen to see if I can hear him talking about the situation in his songs. And then people always get a perverse thing for serial killers. That's why we got fucking true crime murder mystery podcast now. So there is that perverse interest in true crime. I did it. That was an investigation discovery channel. I found someone who sounds just like him, so switching to him. Fair enough. Just it's a crazy story. See, I didn't know who he was. Yeah, David. We're starting to talk about the David situation. Were you familiar with him, Zombie? And hey, Happy Dinosaur. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here. Were you familiar with him? Because I was not familiar with him at all until this situation broke. Um, for those who don't know the whole story, and I'm just giving you a very abridged story. This singer named David was on tour. A dead body was found in his Tesla in LA. It belongs to a girl who would have been 15 had she been alive, but looks like she had died before she turned 15 because of the decomposition. And apparently, the whole body wasn't even found in the Tesla. Parts of it were missing, which makes the story even more crazy and morbid and fucked up. Allegedly, he was dating this girl while she was underage, may have gotten her pregnant. It looks like his whole Discord knew. It looks like some of her classmates knew and were blackmailing him for money off of this situation. It looks like her parents knew, or at least her mom did, and nobody said anything until she ends up dead in this Tesla. She was missing for a good period of time, though. There's videos showing looks like she went missing in 2024, but there's video after that date that shows her with him. Just a really crazy story. Really crazy story. Oh, he's one of your favorite musicians, man. Found that romantic homicide was about him. Yeah, it looks like it was about him killing the girl, but it came out 2 years before he did it. It came out on her birthday, her 12th birthday. And then there's an unreleased song by Celeste. Yeah, Jay is an unreleased song, also called Celeste. And then he was dating an older woman named Celeste as well. Movie theaters closing, music artists will lose money. Opportunity. there if they all close. A lot of people gonna lose money when these movie theaters close. Nobody care about the theaters. Just like a lot of these venues are gonna talk about music. A lot of these venues are gonna close. There's no more live music scene, and everything has to go through Live Nation and Ticketmaster. And they're ripping everybody off. So there's a lot of money is gonna be lost when these places close. He's talking to multiple underage girls. That I didn't know. Family, but that's crazy work. Happy Dinosaur still my family. Talk about how your brother's ex became a stripper. Your brother. Wait, you talking about the same brother that you've been talking about? Now that's girl's his ex. Didn't he get married if I remember correctly, or is it a different brother? I can't remember. And I apologize if I missed something because you hear sometimes. Sometimes you got I think the timing of these streams keep changing. So last time I remember, I thought he was married to the girl. Apparently she's not. Now she's a stripper. That and unfortunately, that's a common story. Girls get divorced and go to stripping or OF or both. Talk about getting high with her, being obsessed with her. He clearly was obsessed with her because the girl in one of the videos looked just like her, and it seems like every girl he was dating looked just like her. Really fucking crazy. Really fucking crazy. And the weirdest thing is that romantic homicide. The song in the video came out years ago. She was alive. So he made a song about killing her and was planning on killing her in a couple years. That is fucking crazy. That's even so. There were people at least trying to expose him. You do only have one brother, so it must have been the same situation. That's crazy. He does have a better girl now. I'm glad. I'm glad he has a better girl. So there were people trying to expose. Well, that's at least something positive. Because it seemed like nobody. It seemed like there was too many people not saying shit. So there have been people trying to expose her for years, but she was still gone and missing. Well, I'm glad somebody was working to expose him because it seemed like it was a bunch of people complicit and a bunch of people enabling this shit. How many sickos got to enable this sicko? And if what happens if he didn't kill her? Would y'all still be enabling this guy? It looks like you would have. Oh man, he said on a Discord service he also liked gore. Man, this guy might have been sick. So that means he was really planning this shit. He was really planning this shit. Sick fuck. Man, if that parasocial bond gets broken, man, in the wrong way, and you give these sick fucks power over you, some crazy shit can happen, man. He had to be planning some version of this, and he somehow got obsessed with the chick, and then I mean he's basically right because the thing with it's been kind of compared to YMW Melly Murder in My Mind. For better or worse, the song came out after the murder happened, which was him describing what happened, which is still a fucked up thing. Um, but it doesn't sound like it may have been a premeditated thing, even in the song. Uh, it doesn't, it's like a accidental death, and he's talking about it. In this case, the song was recorded, whatever was recorded. He released a video on her 12th birthday. He dates this girl for 2 years plus, and then he kills her almost around the time of her 15th birthday. Basically, it's like what ritualistic, eyes wide shut shit, and the way the police is reacting makes it seem like it's some eyes wide shut shit on top of it. Really fucking nuts. He was talking about the kill. You said YMLE ain't do well. YMLE is probably gonna get out. Um, she was still going missing. Yeah, probably, man. Paul Brady, you can take some time to think about life. I don't mind being made fun of. I'm just an asshole on the internet, but y'all got to at least try to get to know me first. Jesus Christ. Just walk in talking shit. Uh, What type of wait? If you wouldn't do that to in real life to anyone, just walk in immediately start making fun of somebody you never met. Like what the fuck? The fuck says retro dad ACL. Shout out to St. Louis. YNW Melly ain't doing. We talking about killing his friends. He did get out. He did get out. Okay. Miss here, but awesome voice. Well, thank you. Happy dinosaur. Also, the cops didn't have any. It didn't look like they had enough evidence, and maybe he wasn't. I don't know. If he got out, he's out now. So I ain't about to talk about And thank you for subscribing, Stephanie Bickley. Hey, we're trying to get to 1,000. We're almost at 900. I think we're only like 10 or 11 or 12 away. So if you like what you hear, we talk about. We're not talking about politics as much. We talk about sports. We talk about other kind of common things that are going on, basic news, I guess. We'll play video games sometimes, maybe retro games, maybe Tekken, maybe modern games. It is what it is. So feel free to sub. Oh shit! Happy Dinosaur. Now that you mentioned it, I do remember when Arnie Hammer admitted to cannibalism. There's a lot of weirdos out in Hollywood, man. And yeah, Arnie Hammer totally. If you don't know him, he's an actor. I think wasn't he in Iron Man 2? Wasn't he one of the villains in Iron Man 2? If I remember correctly. And he admitted to being into cannibalism. Yeah, I wish I could. Unfortunately, I can't look things up on these phone streams. That's why I do still do streams from the computer from time to time, even though they get less newbies showing up. But yeah, apparently he's into cannibalism. A lot of these Hollywood motherfuckers are weird, man. Shit, you remember that? We even talked about it, me and Matt, the Machine Gun Kelly, and who was that chick he was with? And they were like drinking each other's blood and shit. Some weird fuckers. Guess he was so destitute he had to eat his co-stars after the Lone Ranger remake flopped. I forgot all about the Lone Ranger remake until you brought it up. But yeah, that's crazy. Do I fight crime? I wish I did, young Gonzo. I wish I did. I try to fight crime through the interwebs the best I can. So that's not that good. No hood beef though. Nah, not doing that. So he is hiding out from the cops. Okay. We're talking about the Davis situation. If you know anything about that, we talk about whatever, but right now that's what we're talking about. And no, I don't fight crime like physically and shit like that. Well, maybe one day, maybe one day. But we talk about this Davis situation because it's such a weird situation. Because shit, he was on tour for a little bit, and it looks like they canceled shows. You need one of your neighbors straightened out. Well, unfortunately, I won't be able to handle you or help you straight for justice. So at least I'll think about it. I think that Kelly shit was performative. You're probably right. We'll talk about the weirdos, celebrities, because it looks like this guy David was planning on killing this woman. Hood justice, fuck the hood. Nah, I love the hood, but fuck the hood. At the same time, hood is the work. Hood's the work. I lived in the hood. You know what I mean? I'm from Detroit. I've been broke a good portion of my life. And it's definitely cool people in the hood, but the hood is the psyop. That I'll say. I ain't gonna say fuck the hood, but the hood is a psyop. That I can say confidently. Don't fall for the psyop. If you are in the hood, you know, keep to yourself, do your thing. So he stopped all his shows to hide. I don't know how much money this guy has to hide out as far as David. Because like, how big was this guy, popularity wise? Like, can he potentially hide out for the police? Because the police don't try. You know what I'm saying? They don't try for anybody. He had a few mil. Well, I mean, a few mil don't go as far as it used to. How do you survive Detroit with the cop program this bad in '92? Detroit's not as bad as you think. Though parts of it are fucked up. The problem with Detroit was a lot of shit got abandoned. So there's a lot of abandoned buildings, a lot of quote unquote bandos. That I will say. And those are never good. Um, but it's not as bad. And then a lot of people ended up moving to like different suburbs right on top of or surrounding Detroit. So the metro area, even though the city population got smaller, you still had a lot of people in the same area. But I miss it. Shit, part of me thinks about moving back. The believe it or not, the main factor that would be stopping me from moving back is the weather. Match reminds you of Scorpio. I never heard that one before. I heard Bane. I heard I heard all sorts of shit. But Scorpion, that's a new one. Get over here. Um, yes, the code. Yeah, it has improved. You said not California's a crap hole. I'm a spider. Oh, you talking about that Scorpion, the Spider Man? Oh, you know what? Now that I look at it, I can see how you think that. Especially because this, I added the little chin part because I just wanted to cover it rather not to have a beard to keep it more anonymous. It does kind of favor different versions. Was it Matt Gargan, the Scorpion? You're right. I didn't even think of it. I still hadn't heard that, but when you say it and I look, I'm like, I can see it. Yeah. Shout out to the Scorpion. I've heard Bane a bunch, but it's not Bane. It's a logo that one of my homies came up with, and then I made it into the mask. So shout out to I read Spider Man as Spider Man. Spider Man. Isn't there like a online Spider Man or something? There's a lot of different online, you know. Now mask has become a gimmick. I started doing this shit in 2025. I had a different mask back then. But now everybody got a mask on. It's like it's not even that thing. And I started to do music. It's supposed to be like my favorite. Well, I got tons of favorite artists. One of them is MF Doom. Another one is Daft Punk. And both Daft Punk. Hey, Dale, you happen to come in? I'm actually explaining it. I want to do music. I'm actually just now, years afterwards, starting to release music. My favorite artists are Daft Punk and MF Doom. They both existed at the time I came up with this idea. Unfortunately, MF Doom passed, and Daft Punk have not broken up. But they both existed, and they both, anonymous. And you don't focus on them; you focus on the music, which I like. And I'm about to release music soon. I might even drop the video today to one of my singles. And so the whole point is to just be anonymous and make music and make content on the internet. Because as we see, if you make content on the internet and people don't like your content, they can come after your job. If people don't like your content, they can come after your real life. I didn't even have that planned or thought of. It didn't clock on that when I came up with this. I was just doing it for the fun of, hey, are you a superhero? Uh, that gimmick. I just like that shit. I got action. Even though these movies suck, I still love superheroes. I think it's a cool thing. I'm like, whatever. So you cosplay Spider Man, Jay. That's dope. I'm trying to get. I haven't done it yet. I have a Mankind Mick Foley cosplay, and I want to get a cosplay for Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. So that's the thing. So no doubt, I'm not a superhero. I'm just an anonymous YouTuber that I happen to be explaining. Why wear the mask. It started off as just a homage to MF Doom and Daft Punk because I'm making electronic music and hip hop. I'm doing two different genres at the same time. So it's like that's the gimmick there. But it took me a while to start to finally get the music going. And I just started doing content creation in 2020. Like I had this idea for a few years. Let's put it forth. So I started doing content in 2020. I had no idea cancel culture or whatever you want to call it. No matter it's right or left, to me it all looks like cancel culture, but apparently your politics matter, consequence culture, whatever. I had no idea we would ever have a day where you talk shit on social media and you can get fired for it. But now that we have that day, I'm definitely keeping this fucking mask on. Now that we are at this day, I didn't expect we're definitely keeping the mask on. Reread James Tinian Batman run and David McCini Mullet of Steel run. Happy Dinosaur, have you heard what are your thoughts on Absolute Batman? Have you read any of that? And I didn't really read much of the James Tinian the fourth run. I know a lot of people really applauded it. I think did he come up with Punchline? Wasn't that his idea? And MF Doom and Daft Punk were great. So what you thinking, man? Seemed to be pretty cool. I hope I am. I'm trying. Shit, Detroit motherfuckers. Underground Resistance wore balaclavas in the 90s. Yeah, rest in peace, MF Doom. Yeah, they've come back, and I always fuck up the pronunciation. I got a realistic mask. You talking about with Spider-Man mask, the moving eyes? That's dope. Drill, yeah, Drill brought it back. You're praying for Absolute Batman. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Absolute Joker. That design, it's like he's a lizard thing. It's like I'm not. I'm not sure about Absolute Batman. I haven't read any of it. I saw Absolute Bane. I've seen some of the. People. A lot of people are in the comic sphere. They're talking about it. But you have a Carhartt cap, and I think this shirt's Carhartt. I was weird. You know what's weird about Carhartt now that it's like a hipster brand, especially being from Detroit. Everybody wore Carhartt just because it was as far as the thermal protection of those jackets, you could not wear anything lighter that could keep you warmer. At least not consumer level, man. For like $70 to $100, you get yourself a Carhartt jacket, and that shit's gonna keep you warm throughout the winter. And even though it's lightweight, it still kept you warm. So we just wore the Carhartts because of that. And I had no idea it would ever become this big, um, like hipster brand or whatever brand. It's just weird. I haven't read the Absolute Batman run, but the art has you going with a yes and oh no at the same time. Certain, yeah, I'm in the similar boat. Certain art looks cool, certain doesn't. I haven't seen Absolute Catwoman. I saw Absolute Riddler. I was like, yeah, I didn't like his design. I didn't see Absolute Catwoman though. I may have to look for her. He says she's the only normal character. At least that's what Jay says. So, and then I saw that they're doing regular Batman #1. They've relaunched that. Um, there's a comic shop near me. I could have grabbed one of those. They had a just like they do. They had like a trillion different covers. It's like, okay, I know you got to get the fucking collector marks who want to get 15 different covers. I get that. Oh yeah, Champion becoming a hipster. I didn't see either. You used to see that shit at Walmart. And the old head Pepperidge Farms. Remember Kmart? That may be before some of you guys' time. See, Happy's is early mid 20s, and some of the other guys may be younger. Maybe you remember Kmart, but yeah, that was like a cheap brand that you saw Champion. All of a sudden, it became a hipster brand. Flat out refused to read Absolute Superman run. I don't want another dark gritty Superman after the Snyderverse cap. Yeah, I'm not a fan of dark gritty Superman. I didn't mind Henry Cavill, but he never really played an authentic Superman. And even though this one, people are arguing about how successful it was, the James Gunn one. I'm not a fan of James Gunn. We'll talk about pervert, all the evil tweets this motherfucker has put out there, and nobody talks about. But that's another can of worm. Um, and from what I saw, I don't think this Superman was for me. But if there is a positive, they are trying to erase the taste of that evil Superman shit, that dark Superman. Because I mean, you had Justice Superman, you had really the Snyderverse kind of being dark and moody. Then you had the Boys, Invincible, and just all this evil Superman propaganda in the past 15 years. It's like, man, can we just have classic ass this motherfucker Superman? Can we just have this? This all classic draws on the outside, optimistic Superman. All right, peace out, Jay. Thank you for being here. Like, share, sub if you can, and if you can't, hey, just show back up if you feel like it. But can we just have a happy Superman? And Superman's your favorite superhero. You did like James Gunn Superman. It's what you wanted. Hey, that's the one thing coming out of it. Everybody said that this was a perfect, optimistic, positive Superman, and I'm not gonna hate on that. I just I don't know if he was the guy to get the whole DCEU. You wanted campy, optimistic, corny. Well, that's cool. That's cool. And I definitely, I will say I do like the actor. I do like David Corsway. He definitely cares about being Superman. But James Gunn, man, if you want to look up his old tweets, it's some tough stuff. It's some definitely FBI open up type shit. His old tweets from back in the day. Um, but James Gunn does have a style. A lot of people like the style, so it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not gonna knock you for it because that's one thing I am positive about. is how did that's people are starting to look at Superman in a better light. So that is what he was brought in for. Outside of numbers, I know a lot of Snyderverse people are talking about, well, the numbers don't compare to Man of Steel, and they don't. Especially if you add inflation, that makes them even worse. But as far as brand image, this is a better look. It just is what it is. And those little clips of comparing Henry Cavill or Farman to David Cornsweet actually doing everything he can to save. I mean, it is what it is. They look bad for your boy. I'm just saying it. Yeah, but that's the thing. Trying to find somebody, in any of these things that isn't a pervert or a predator. He said, but I'll take one pervert over one predator, Flash, and domestic abuser. Yeah, it's not like they were all angels. Flash, he was damn near on this David tip. Looked like he was talking to a lot of younger women. See, a lot of people think Bane. A lot of people think Bane. Rising Phoenix is not a Bane mask. It's a Vigilante Williamson mask. Similar color scheme. But no, it's not Bane. I appreciate you guys trying to figure out the mask. I know I gotta lose weight. Everybody's talking about EDP. Nobody says Ron Wave or anybody else. But damn, man. But no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me who broke Batman's back. Pause. Even though we are talking about a little bit about the DCU or DC right now, we're just talking about Superman, and we'll see what happens. Warner Brothers is not Bane, it's Bane. It's Bane. No, it's not Bane. It's a Vigilante Williamson. No relation to the Vigilante character, by the way. That wasn't the thinking. Thought it was strong bad at first. Where did I get it made at? Someplace. I think it was massmaniac.com. And then I had a local tailor redo the eyes because the eyes were messed up and I couldn't see out of it for long. I had this man for 2 years and couldn't see out of it, didn't barely use it as a result until I should have been just went to a local tailor. Um, but I think the website was called Mask Maniac. They do luchador masks. And they were able to take this logo and turn it into a mask. And this logo was done by a guy named Mando Merck. He was somebody I knew when I first started doing YouTube when I met, and I still got his contact information. He designed the logo, and then eventually turned it into a mask after a few years. So I'm still doing this. I'm actually going to reach out to him when we start selling merch. I'm taking a break. I gotta find a good shirt manufacturer because I tried to do t-shirts with this logo, and the ones I got I didn't really like them, so I got to find a different distributor for that. Yeah, I think this site was Mass Maniac, and I'm not sure if they still do. This was a couple years ago. I got it 2022, so 3 years ago now. Got it around the time I first moved to Texas, so that sounds right. Um, so yeah. But as far as DC and Warner Brothers, they are selling it either to Netflix or Paramount right now. I hope this works because it's the third or fourth time of them selling. Still speaking, Raw has been okay, but NXT has been amazing. You can't hear? Oh, that sucks. All right, why don't we move closer? All right, can you hear me now? I know I'm all up in the fucking mic and all in the camera, but if you can't hear me, you can't hear me. Can you guys hear me any better? And I haven't been watching too much wrestling. Not really. Fuck. Well, so who's been watching this stream? Shit. You hear me? Okay. Happy you can hear me. Um, that sucks. This is just going off the phone microphone. Get out of my face. Yeah, I'm like all up here. Like, golly, my big ass head. So yeah, I'm sorry, Zach. I'm doing my best. I don't. That's why I don't like doing only phone streams because the technical of using your phone, it's not going to work all the time. So I appreciate you being here, Zach. And some people can hear me, so I'm gonna keep going from here. Well, I was just ranting about DC selling. Talk louder. This is about as loud as I can talk. I'm not about to scream. Only phones. Yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all in our face like a 90s rap video, right? So yeah, I'm sorry to be in everybody's face. I'm just trying to be audible. This the issue with doing maybe you can take the charger off. I don't know if that helps. That's the issue with doing phone streams, is that you're a little bit harder to hear. And I don't have the microphone and everything. So I apologize. I'm doing the best I can. Doing the best I can, man. But thank you for being here. Hopefully you can hear me. Just need to talk louder. I'm talking pretty loud for me, man. Luckily, there's no one else in this house outside of my dog. Um, but yeah, man. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm talking about as loud as I can get without yelling and screaming about every fucking thing. I'm just not that intense, man. To be like Ray Lewis talking about the fucking DC. The DCU needs to be better. Like I'm just not that guy. So I don't have that much intensity. All you missing is Diddy in the back licking his lips. Yo, now we look back at Diddy. He was looking at licking his lips and looking at dudes' asses and all this shit. We didn't even notice it. We didn't even fucking notice it. That was louder. I don't know if I could do that the whole stream though. That was the whole point. Could hear you when you were louder. Yeah, I can't just be. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if it's my phone or your phone or both. Jesus loves you and wants a relationship with you if you don't already have one. That is true, Trey. Appreciate you saying that. Appreciate you saying that. Not sure if you're going to stick around. Not sure if you just spam streams with that, but hey, it's true. It is true. Jesus does love you. Oh, you know what? Speaking of Jesus, did you guys see this rapture thing? I think the rapture happened, quote unquote, which the rapture is not biblical, by the way. You are trolling. Thank the Most High. Um, pun not intended. But did anybody see the poor box and converted to Jesus? Did y'all see this rapture thing where people were selling all their goods? I wish I would have got like some synthesizers, some studio gear for cheap. Yeah, people thought the rapture was happening. I think Tuesday, and they were selling all their possessions. Tell me I'm not the only one who saw this. I thought this is the craziest thing on earth. The rapture is not biblical. Nobody knows when Jesus will return. No man knows the hour, and no man will know. Nobody knows when the rapture is, so they did that. Yeah, it's going to be unexpected. Jesus' return is going to be unexpected, and the concept of the rapture, whether or not that's biblical, is something to be debated. But whenever Jesus returns, we will not know. There'll be no expectation. And in fact, the only thing we do know is the Antichrist. Well, even though there will be many Antichrists, um, we know the Antichrist will be here. But yeah, no one knows the actual thing. It's happening next week. Not giving you money. This is not the first time you've had a massive rapture scare, but this one got pretty big. There's been some cults. There's some. Is there an internet historian video? There's some videos on some of these big rapture cults. Yeah, every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall confess. Look at this. But yeah, that's it's not gonna. Instagram's not gonna tell you when Jesus is returning, guys. And selling your stuff. And there's some people giving away their stuff. I wish them the best. Probably it may have been Count Dankula's video I saw. I do believe he's coming soon because this got to be the end of times. But there'll be great tribulation. There'll be a lot of stuff. Wars and rumors of wars. So we do got a ways to go. Unfortunately, it's soon, but it's still a ways to go. That no man knows the hour, and that's I do believe in Jesus Christ, but it's the religious opportunists that bother me. That's why I don't really trust a lot of people in the church. I mean, especially in the black church, there's that, and it's a recent video, the infamous video of the guy locking the doors because he didn't get enough donations. There's just so much corruption in a lot of organized religion. But I do believe in Jesus. I do believe Jesus one day will return. I do believe we will be judged for our sins. So you do gotta, all jokes aside, try to be the best person you can. Try to read the Bible. Try to have a personal relationship with the Most High. I think that's an important prayer. Um, it's not just becoming a sermon for some dude in a weird mask, but like just seriously, that's important. That's very important, and it's important if even if you do that, not to get caught up in these you know these post mega church super religion as a culture scams. I believe in God, not religion. I feel very similar. I feel like it's going to be bad when he comes, so he can test his children, see if they stick with him. I think it's going to be pretty bad too, Trey. Kyle's last album was like, yeah, the thief next to Jesus. Yeah, that was what it was called. Rest in peace to Kyle. Um, so yeah, it's but when people can be exploited and people allow themselves to be exploited, uh, this stuff like this happens. Stuff like this happens. Yeah, R.I.P. to Kyle. One of the legends of I would say past what 10, 15 years of hip hop, and really proof that you can be an independent artist and be impactful and be your own artist and be original. You know what I mean? You can be original and true to yourself and still have still be a very talented person and still have a reach as an independent. So rest in peace to Kai. And you know, on a non-religious note, favorite Florida man story. Best lyrics, yeah, he's definitely one of the best lyrics the past 10, 15 years. Especially when people mock him, all the stuff that's happened in September coming real soon. And the people who get left behind finally understand should have took it seriously. I've never been a big fan of people who mock really any religion, but in particular Jesus. Today, no, today's not Wandering NPC. It's not. What was I want to get back to? Oh, Florida Man. I don't know my favorite Florida Man story, and I don't know if this is because I live in Texas. One of my favorite Florida Man videos, because it happened in Florida, is the guy at the Whataburger who jumps off the roof of the Whataburger onto like a car or something, and he just runs away from the police. I can't think of a Florida Man story offhand though. Today is the day. Am I MF Doom brother? I'm not. It's funny. I just saw a dude with an MF Doom mask also streaming. So there is an MF Doom clone out there. LP said it best. I don't have any words. Kai took the best ones with him. Yeah, I was a Kai fan. I was an MF Doom fan. I just explained that. I'm an MF Doom and a Daft Punk fan, along with being an electronic and a hip hop artist. And you passed him as well. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. I thought to ask him stupidly, "Are you an MF Doom fan?" It's like he has to be. Why else would he be wearing that mask? Then I actually kind of like, I need to stream. I need to just get up and stream. But no, I'm not MF Doom's brother, Mr. Bread. I'm a huge fan of him. I do make hip hop. Like I said, I also make synth pop, which because I'm a huge fan of Daft Punk as well. Hopefully later on in the day I'll be actually putting out videos of both. Should do a double stream. I don't know if he. I don't know how to interact with other humans. So I don't know if he might think what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind it, but I don't know. I don't know anything about him though either. So we might not be on the same page. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, but yeah, you do pass. That's part of the reason I do these streams on my phone. I usually stream off my computer, but when you do these they're basically doom scroll streams. You scroll enough, and then all of a sudden YouTube, instead of showing you shorts, they start showing you streams, and most of them are wacky and crazy, but a couple of them are semi. Well, this is kind of wacky. I'm in the fucking mask, but you know what I mean. Cause I remember seeing the one dude had like a toilet on his head, and I hope was chocolate on his face, and I don't know what he was saying, but there was a lot of people watching. I guess it was supposed to be like those NPC streams. It was very bizarre. You see some weird stuff on these vertical streams, these phone streams on YouTube. Well, I'm gonna doom scroll to the next person, spread the gospel. There you go. Thanks for respecting me. Most people cut you out. Nah, I believe in Jesus, man. Go ahead and do that, bro. Go ahead and do that. And somebody has to. And somebody, people, we all need those reminders. Even, we all living our lives. doing the best I can. We got to pray for forgiveness. I sin. I'm not perfect, but you still need that example. So thank you for even showing up. Like, share if you care, and if you don't, hopefully you'll show back uh, another time. Y'all gonna sub? I appreciate that. I appreciate it. No Jesus hate here. No, and no real religion hate. You know what I mean? Like I said, I believe in Jesus. Um, if you're of of Islam, I'm not gonna. I don't feel like being I don't like disrespecting the dead. I don't like disrespecting people's spiritual beliefs. I think one of the biggest mistakes we've made as a society. Yeah, a lot of there's a few of us who do love Jesus here, which is always a good thing. But one of the biggest mistakes we made in society is separation of spirituality from reality. Reality is very spiritual. And I think a society that recognizes that reality is spiritual will do better. That's another can of worms. But thank you for being here, Trey. And I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Like I said, there's a few of us do appreciate Jesus around here. And even then, I try not to. I'm not going to judge people. I'm not a theologian where some people can debate religion and all that. I'm just not. I'm not that experienced. I wish I was. I wish I was better. I just try to read from time to time and do our best. Materialism is retarded, but so to democracy, the people rule, but the people are retarded. You know what I'm saying? And the economy is based off materialism, especially in America, in the West. We base our economy off of materialism. So, and materialism is retarded because I like stuff, but it's not. This doesn't mean any fucking thing. It's just stuff. It's just stuff. Still not seeing you again. All right, happy dinosaur. We're probably gonna keep going, get going in a little bit, maybe another 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, materialism and basing your whole economy off of materialism is retarded. Yeah, peace out, happy dinosaur. But because it's only so much can things don't matter, and I get that they are intentionally trying to create a isolated society. Um, I would argue they're even, that it's not a coincidence that so many art and creative pursuits have fallen off. That's an intentional. That's a feature, not a bug. And so, as a result, we just we become just vapid consumers because we're not connected to anything. We're not connected, as I mentioned just a second ago. We're not connected to the spiritual. We're not connected to each other. We're connected to these fucking demon screens we call a phone, and that's it. And then that starts to brainwash us, and then we become empty consumers on Amazon. And I'm not judging. I'm not pointing the finger. I'm pointing at myself. Hey, LDG, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here. I keep being link up with you, so thank you for showing up. But yeah, there's definitely a push to make us isolated, empty consumers to just buy things and worship material goods, consume economic unit. Yeah. Hey, lovely Sherry. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, it's unfortunate, and it's starting to falter because for two reasons. One, we don't have enough economic units to spend just indiscriminately and discretionally, and two, I mean, most material, like I definitely don't want to name brand. I got this Carhartt hat because it's fucking cheap. You know what I mean? It's not that expensive. If they wanted like $50 for this, I wouldn't buy it. You know what I'm saying? But they only want like 15 for. I think I bought it was 15, maybe more now, maybe it's 20. As long as it's affordable, I'll buy it. It's affordable and of decent quality. I'm not about to pay, hundreds of dollars for clothes or hundreds of dollars for shoes, or I'm not going to pay a lot of those expensive consumer brand. I'm not an Apple guy. I've always been a Samsung, but not just a Samsung, just Android in general. I'm not paying for the highest and the highest quality, the latest and the greatest and the best. So, and a lot of people aren't because again, you can't afford to. And then that mentality. I mean, I guess they have that top 10% of the upper middle class that will blindly consume, and that's what they're marketing a lot of things to. But still, That's what the debt trap is for. Yeah, you borrow the fake money to keep consuming. A lot of people have done that. They got into debt to stunt for Instagram. Hell, that's part of the Disney adult as well. A lot, Disney's not cheap, but a lot of people will go spend a couple grand to go to Disney and buy all the things and post it on their Instagram. Um, and that's it. Now they got to pay for that with 25% APR for the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm just now getting into Instagram as Instagram is basically dying. As Instagram is becoming 4chan, I'm getting into it. And I just doom scroll on Instagram to be honest. So I'm not a big grammer, but a lot of people do like studying for the gram and studying for social media, and have put themselves in debt just to do it. Regardless, I mentioned the Disney adults. It could be the Jordan adults or the brand hype beast, so they can wear a Mary, so they can wear Supreme or whatever the fucking hot brand is that day, um, or so they can whatever go to these destination vacations, whatever it is. So a lot of people got caught up in that. A lot of people have been caught up in that. But you gotta try not to. You know what I mean? A lot of life is dodging things. Just like I keep seeing, I'm starting to see more and more stuff. I should say on the gambling thing, because gambling has been made legal. Even here in Texas, it's not legal to do certain gambling. And that Texas is one of the last states. That's as of this NFL season. Even last one, you couldn't do some of the betting that they have now, because there's all sorts of loopholes, even if they're not outright gambling, whatever it is. So it's just there's a lot of different scams, legal scams. Somebody I think was talking about the. No, I was watching somewhere. That's somewhere else. I did see something talking about like the. Why did you redeem that? Those type of scams. But like, there's just all sorts of legal scams now. Whether it's gambling, whether it's consumerism, whether it's Klarna. Do you want that Costco hot dog that's $1.50? Do you want to pay on that for 4 months? It's a lot of shit to just get you fucked up out here in this day and age. On top of just the amount of money you make trying to distribute that to all the bills you have naturally. It's a lot of scams out here. And ducking them is a huge, you know, that's half the damn battle. That's 2/3 of the battle. I say 3/3. It's a huge part of the battle is ducking all the legal scams, all the legal ways they got you to fuck yourself up. Because that's a huge part of the economy. The economy runs on consumerism and materialism and all sorts of isms. All sorts of isms. But it is what it is. And you know what? I'm gonna call this stream. I'm gonna call this stream a stream. I probably will stream in another 5 or 6 hours about the NFL, and then maybe another one tonight. So who knows? Might do triple streams tonight. I am planning on putting out some music tonight, or at least music videos. Hopefully, I can get that done. The streams runs on Tism. That it does. It definitely runs on the Tism. Speaking of which, closing thing. Apparently, was it Tylenol causes autism? Question mark. I did see that. That's fucking crazy. It doesn't. Is that true? I had never heard about Tylenol and autism. I heard about vaccines having a link. I never heard about Tylenol. That's crazy. Not saying that they do. I just said I heard about it. Jesus, fucking YouTube. They keep fucking me with that. But in any event, apparently don't take Tylenol. I appreciate anybody watching this live or on the playback. I do keep these streams up. So thank you for watching. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night. God bless. I'll talk to all you guys and gals and theys and thems and whatever you like to be called later. Peace.